right, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. This is episode 47. I'm your host, Thaddeus. Shout out to our producer, boy band John. What's up, BBJ? All right, okay, so shout out to our sponsors. We have Hawaii Candy Company. So if you go to hawaiicandycompany.com, go look on their website. They have a bunch of lihimui candies and snacks. If you go to their website and order something, promo code ATB pod upon checkout, you'll receive 10% off your entire purchase order. Also, we have Detail Garage Hawaii. If you need something to wax your car or detail your truck, car, or any vehicle you have, they have waxes, polishes, buffers, and whatever you need to make your car look brand new. Go to detailgaragehawaii.com, promo code ATB pod upon checkout, and you'll get 15% off your entire purchase order. And last but not least, and these guys also sponsor my guests, defendhawaii.com. If you go to Defend Hawaii, they have a whole bunch of stuff. They have everything you need: gear, clothes, bags. They just did a amazing collaboration with the Hui for their surf contest. Go check out defendhawaii.com. Same thing. ATB pod upon checkout. Use promo code ATB pod and 15% off your entire purchase order. Oh man, that's a lot to remember. Okay. So today my guest is somebody I've been a fan of for a while. He's one of the best in Hawaii at the moment. Hawaii MMA fighter, Martin the Spartan Day. What's up, brother?
What's up, Dad? Thanks for having me on, my man.
Thanks for coming on, bro. You got the best nickname in Hawaii right now because it rhymes. It kind of matches you.
It's funny you say that, bro, because on my UFC debut, somebody or some news outlet for MMA came out with this article that had all the nicknames on the China card, on the UFC China.
Yeah.
It had nicknames from the worst nickname to the best nickname. And so out of like the 20 something nicknames that was on the card, mine was like the third worst.
Worst?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I guess just because it's like a common, I don't know, like a common thing, like the Pitbull or the Hammer or the Spartan. But
I guess it rhymes though. Martin the Spartan. That kind of works. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, bro. I thought it sounds good, and it's not only that. Like I didn't start just calling myself the Spartan. You know what I mean? I feel like when you just start like you make a nickname for yourself, you just start calling yourself something, then that's when it's kind of lame. But yeah, so someone started calling me that when I was an amateur, still kickboxing. So it kind of stuck.
Oh, that's cool. Speaking of kickboxing, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. When I first seen you compete, I wasn't a fan. Like, I didn't like you. I didn't want you to win. You're fighting one of my little students that I taught from, I think he was 6 years old, and he used to pretty much live at my house on the weekends. And it wasn't, I didn't like you. I just didn't want you to win that fight because I wanted my student to win, which was Bronson Mojica.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like my little brother. Like, all the way. We took him surfing. He lived on Kauipa Street right next to my apartment. So every morning I would wake up and he'd be playing video games in my living room. And then he grew up and he started competing in kickboxing and MMA. And for some reason, you guys were billed as was the main event, right? For Destiny fight.
Yeah. It was a main event. And I've actually known Bronson for a while. I mean, he's kind of like a well-respected name, you know, growing up on the east side. And then we were he's a little older than me, I think, but we're kind of close to the same age. And people would always like compare me to him in like high school. Be like, oh yeah, you know how it is in high school. Like, oh, you and this guy fight, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, but I've actually, I can't say I've known him for a while, but I've known of him for a while. And we both kind of knew each other a little bit, but not much. But yeah. Okay, that's right. You guys would know each other, yeah.
Yeah. So it was crazy because Destiny, we usually do the sound for it and do the walkouts for all the fighters and all this. And just so happened the announcer couldn't make it, so I was the one announcing the fights. I don't know if you remember. It was me. So I
don't remember that, but I remember the fight, of course. But yeah, I didn't realize.
And I sound like a little kid, like I do now. So I'm announcing the fights, and I'm really excited because I'm obviously a fan of Bronson, and I wanted him to do good. And it was a build as like Kailua versus Kaneohe, and like
Oh yeah,
it
yeah.
was packed. It was at Philcom, correct?
Yeah, it was at Philcom. Definitely, it was like a Kailua versus Kaneohe thing. It was
Yeah,
like even the crowd. Yeah.
yeah. But you guys fought, and like it went back and forth, and it was, you could tell like both you guys were amazing, like your technique, skill, and your heart, and it went back and forth. And I had to read the winner. So they gave me the
Yeah.
scorecard, and I had to read the winner, and I seen it, and it said draw. And I was like, oh, I was so tempted to say Bronson, like nobody gonna know. But
Oh
of
man.
course, I did the right thing. I did the right thing, but I was impressed after the fight how you guys handled yourselves. And you guys were both champions. You guys both handled yourselves better than I could see. And you made sure the crowd was cool, and Bronson came and talked on the mic and was like, it is, we're all like one group of people, and you guys fought really hard, and it was a good fight. It was a really good fight. And honestly, it could have went either way. You could have won, Bronson could have won. So a draw was cool. Nobody lost. But I started to watch your career. So the next time we did a Destiny, I think it was at Blaisdell. And I remember you got dropped and you came back and won. And I was thinking, oh, this kid got heart. Like he overcome any type of adversity and ended up winning. And then the third time I got to see you fight, had me and DJ Hoppa Boy, and we were in the booth at I think it was Trinity. It was a at the trampoline place.
Yes, yeah, that was the trampoline place. That was my second professional fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you finished your guy with a Taekwondo back kick. And that was my favorite move ever. Like growing up doing Taekwondo was back kick or spinning hook kick. And you knocked him out with a back kick. And I was like, Brad, I'm a fan, Brad. That's my guy right there. He did. And ever since then, I watched your career, every fight from amateur to pro until you got to the big show. It was cool to see the beginning stages, but the whole time you did it with a lot of humbleness, and you're very about your team, and it was cool to see you from the start to where you are now. But I always wanted to know, like, because your background is Taekwondo, so I have that in common with you. But how did you get started in martial arts?
Yeah, bro. Well, first of all, thank you for saying that it was a draw, because that was my only.
No, it was. That's what it was. I didn't want to say it, but I had to.
No, I know. That's why I say thank. That was my only fight. I have a completely undefeated kickboxing record, amateur and professional, and so I'm glad it wasn't a loss. You know what I mean?
It
So I'm
wasn't a
glad you said
loss.
it. Yeah, because if you, yeah. But yeah, bro. I started doing taekwondo at I started doing taekwondo at Bishaw's Taekwondo Academy in 2002. But man, I've wanted to do martial arts for as long as I can remember. I actually lived in the Big Island during like my early part of my childhood,
Oh,
and I
okay.
remember just like I remember walking into KL rec center, and there would be like a karate class going on, and I would just be like super fascinated with it. My neighbor, who was, in Big Island things are more spread apart, we would walk and go play in each other's yard or whatever. But he would do karate, and he would come back home and show me his moves. So I just always was super interested in it. But just the way I grew up and kind of the way my childhood was, money wise and everything, we couldn't afford to do it. But when I moved here, to Kailua side, Windward side, then I had I started to see more and stuff, and I was actually looking at the place where you grew up training. I was just see the little advertisements and stuff. So I was actually gonna sign up there. I was gonna do it, and then I went to the beach park in Kailua. It was like one of those like sunsets on the beach, and then I saw like a demonstration from all the guys at Bashaz, and it just ended up like signing up for a free trial. And yeah, I just started from there and started competing. Like I started competing when I was a yellow belt, my first competition. And yeah, I just kept going and going. And there was a boxing coach that would come around over there too. We called him Coach Buster. His name was Kenny Hagogens from Nalo Boxing Club.
Oh, I remember that guy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
He passed
anyway,
away, correct?
yeah. He
Oh,
passed away a
okay,
couple
yeah,
years
that's
ago.
yeah.
Yeah. You probably, if you follow my Instagram, you've seen something about him on my Instagram. He had
Yeah.
a lot of influence on me. But anyway, he
I
started
used to
working
see
with
him
me.
at 24-hour fitness working on and stuff. Super
Yeah,
nice guy. Yeah.
bro, the nicest,
You could
the
tell he's
coolest guy
OG.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the coolest guy, bro. If you came up to him and talked to him, he would stop whatever he was doing and he would just talk to you like nothing else in the world was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, he started working with me when I was like 15. I started training when I was like 13, and yeah, so I've been boxing. People don't know, but I've been boxing for a while too, since I was like only a couple years after I started doing Taekwondo. So that's what kind of led me down the road of kickboxing, because I would go to the Taekwondo tournaments and compete, but I wouldn't excel because the school that I was training in was not a WTF school, so we didn't do the Olympic style sparring. So when I went to
Yeah.
the Taekwondo tournaments, I was a little bit at a disadvantage because the way we sparred, we used a lot more like kickboxing style, and yeah, so I started to gravitate more towards the Kempo tournaments. Actually, I competed in the Kempo tournaments a lot more than the Taekwondo tournaments because they had like continuous kind of almost like a kickboxing style. And from
Yeah.
there, I transitioned into kickboxing. Yeah. So that's why I gravitated toward that a little bit more. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of amateur kickboxing fights. I can't even. I would have to really think about it if I wanted to get a number in my head. Uh, but yeah. So, and then I guess the next thing after that was MMA. I figured that was like the next level up. So
Yeah.
I started doing that in
Well,
my
wait,
early 20s.
how old were you when you started going in the ring as a kickboxer?
So I guess so. I did a lot of kickboxing tournaments, and a lot of them was just the same kickboxing rules but on mats. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
actually compete in a kickboxing ring until I was 18. So I guess if you're gonna count just kickboxing in the ring, I think I'm probably like 11-0 or something as an amateur, or 11-0-1.
You close to being a loss on that one if I was in a bad
10-0-1.
mood. No.
Yeah.
No. If I had money on that fight, no.
Yeah. That's fine. But yeah. So yeah, and I actually have a couple of professional kickboxing fights too.
Oh,
Those
that's
just
cool.
kind yeah, those kind of materialized because I had like a MMA fight lined up, and then my opponent fell through, so we filled him with a last minute fight, and yeah, I have 3 professional kickboxing fights, 3-0.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
at that young age, were you comfortable competing, or like you get the butterflies and like, oh shit, I'm nervous, or it's like, oh yup, I can show my skills, I can. Because you don't seem like a angry dude, or like a fighter, like, oh, I just want to hurt this
No,
person. You seem
yeah.
like this is a sport and you enjoy the competition.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm not angry. I'm never. It takes a lot for me to get angry, actually, to be honest with you. Yeah. So I mean, I know a lot of fighters are like, they'll be like, "Oh, this is personal. You're taking food off of my plate, off my kid's plate. I'm gonna go in there and kill you because this is one on one." Like, for me, it's just like I don't need any of that to kind of get me going. To me, it's just I've been competing for so long. It's just a competition, and I'm still gonna do my best to win, no matter what. For me, like the more emotional the situation is, the more clouded my judgment's gonna be. So I try to keep any emotion out of it, as much emotion out of it as I can. Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's completely unemotional and it's just a competition like anything else, you know.
They
Yeah,
call
I
that
don't.
the focused calm.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't get angry too often. So, yeah. So I guess it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I don't know, but it's done me good plenty of times. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so that's a lot of experience if you like grew up competing like at a high school age, and from
Yeah.
there you have kind of a step up. And I always thought, like, kickboxing wise, even for us, we always tend to have fought boxers that try to learn how to kick. So as a Taekwondo artist, we already had the kicks down and we could learn how to box. So they wouldn't know how to defend the kicks too well. So I always felt like, oh, okay, that was kind of an added advantage. I don't know if you had the same kind of feeling also.
Yeah, it was reversed. Most guys in Hawaii, they learn how to box first.
Yeah.
And then you learn how to kick later. And then so like I feel like a result of that is just like you don't know the details. Like all of these guys, they don't know the details of how to throw these kicks. And it's like it's so funny because I remember like some of the guys in high school and stuff, they'd be like, "Oh, taekwondo" and stuff. Like, bro, yeah, no, it's funny because my taekwondo has gotten me like some pretty killer highlights. It's gotten me to a lot of places where a lot of stuff wouldn't have gotten me. So yeah, bro. I mean, I didn't even answer your question about the butterfly thing, but yeah, competing a lot. Like I think there's something wrong with you if you don't have butterflies. You're gonna have butterflies, but it definitely helps when you've been in there so many times. It's almost like just like another day, but you still get that little feeling in your gut, like it's go time. But for me, like once I start warming up, once I really start warming up and hitting the pads and stretching and shadow boxing, that feeling pretty much goes away for me. And then maybe if it is still there a little bit, it's gone once the first punch is thrown in the fight, or once the first strike is thrown, it's pretty much gone. But yeah, I know some guys, they struggle with that feeling. Like I remember one of my boys, he had anxiety so much in the fight. He was just so antsy that one time he just threw up, like getting ready to walk off of the fight. Still went out and fought, and then threw up after the first round again, then still might end up TKOing the guy in the third round. So yeah, bro, just everyone is different, so I cannot say that having emotions or stuff like that is wrong or anything. It's just everybody is different. Everybody has a different fuel to their fire.
That's true. Yeah. So how did you make a transition to MMA from kickboxing? I mean, that's like learning a whole nother bag of tricks. You know what I mean? Was it easier or was like a long process? And I assume you're still learning now.
Oh yeah. No, it was tough, bro. Like I had very limited grappling experience. I never like wrestled in high school because I didn't want to wear the wrestling onesie thing. Yeah, the singlet and one. Yeah. Onesie, I called it. Yeah, bro. So another big difference is transitioning from 16-ounce or 10-ounce gloves to the 4-ounce MMA gloves, because the defense is a lot different. In kickboxing, you can like get away with like shelling up and covering. You can't do that in MMA because those little gloves, they just find a home no matter what.
Oh, I can't.
So those two things was the big difference. Not to mention getting hit with 4-ounce gloves. Like, dude, getting hit with a 4-ounce glove is harder than getting hit with a bare knuckle, because underneath that 4-ounce glove is a wrap, and the glove is not soft. I mean, the glove is like is nothing really. It's just like to protect the guy's hand more than your face. So that being said, the guy just has more power in his hand to hit you. And then of course, like the grappling. Yeah. So all my fights, bro, like, I mean, I don't know about all, but pretty much like 99% of the time, it's been about defending the takedown, staying on the feet, and striking. But that being said, too, my jiu-jitsu's come. I feel really good with it nowadays. It's really coming along, so that I'm actually really happy with that, of how far it's come, and but still so much room to grow. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
My mom always say you don't stop learning until you go to heaven. So that's actually on her tombstone. Like, so you're always learning. You're always learning until the day you die. But so you're training at Bishaw's Taekwondo and kickboxing. Where did you start to transition to MMA, and where did you start learning what team did you start off with for that?
I was training with my friend, my boy Jojo Guillaume. I don't know if anyone who's watching this remembers that name, but he was a really good amateur kickboxer and amateur MMA fighter. Like, he's one of those guys who could have easily gone pro because he had so many amateur fights. And he was like a really good amateur record. I think he only held like one loss out of like 15 fights or something like that. But he had like a nice setup in his garage, and we had like a little team going in the garage. We used to call it the squirrel's nest. Now that was just a joke, but we're gonna make a t-shirts, bro. The t-shirts we're gonna have like a nuts looking squirrel holding like an acorn with like fangs and red eyes, and then the slogan was gonna say "We get nuts." No, but anyway,
still can, bro.
Maybe in my garage when I grow up.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. So we used to go over there and we used to train over there. Some really good fighters came through there. I mean, maybe they weren't super great or well known at the time, but now they're, some guys that came through that little gym, that little garage gym, are doing bigger things nowadays. So that's how I got started in MMA, and I would kind of like dabble in jiu-jitsu at like Gracie Kailua and stuff like that. But Jojo really helped me a lot with my jiu-jitsu too, and when I was first getting started. And then I had one, my first MMA fight was with those guys over there. And then when it came, I got invited to Hawaii Elite MMA, and this was when they were located at Gracie Techniques.
Okay.
So all those guys were under one roof. It was, man, that was one of the best teams Hawaii's ever seen. Like top guys, bro.
Was Charles and Ryland.
Charles and Ryland, yeah. And like Charles and Ryland still work together for a lot of the fighters, like me included, So yeah, they have a great relationship still. But now, everyone knows Charles has his own gym, a Hawaii Elite in Waipahu now. I still train at both spots. But
that's good.
Yeah. So I got an invitation from there because I had met Ian Della Cuesta and Micah. He was going by Micah Abreu at the time.
Yeah.
Both those guys were pro fighters too. And then, so I kind of just got in through those guys, and yeah, bro. So I got invited over there and had 2 more amateur fights with them. So I went 3-0 as an amateur, all finishes. And then Charles and Ryland them said, "Yeah, you're ready to go pro." So yeah, the rest is history from there. I remember when they told me to go pro, I was freaking nervous. I was like, "Oh man, are you sure I'm ready to go pro?" Like, I was just thinking like the guys are just gonna be at a whole nother level. It's just like a crazy different level. But like a couple of the guys that really mentored me was one of them was Max Holloway and Russell Doan. Those 2 guys have been major mentors for me. Yeah, Russell well.
Yeah.
But
trying to get him to come on.
Yeah. The ADHD, he might not be able. You might have to do one while walking around or something for him.
Yeah. Strap him down.
I'm just kidding, Russ. I love you. I'm gonna see him tomorrow, so please don't beat me up for that. But yeah. So him and Max I remember them telling me like, no, you know what? You're adding grounded elbows and 2 minutes onto the round. That's it, and you get a little bit of money when you fight. So. Yeah, so
how is fighter pay when you first start? It's not the greatest.
Yeah, you know what, bro? The pay is terrible, but it's also very dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Usually it's like, but there's some kind of other benefit. There's no benefit. You're losing a lot of brain cells, so you gotta love it, bro. And you gotta realize like. This is what a lot of guys who are just going pro, they make this major mistake. They're like turning down fights and stuff because the pay is not good enough. Bro, your first fight, you might make 300 to fight, 300 to win. Maybe 4 if you're as handsome as some of us. But
the girls will pay.
Yeah. You can charge the girls extra at the door.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, bro. But the thing is, the first couple fights, you gotta realize you're not fighting for money. Your first few fights, not even 3 or 4 fights, your first several fights, you're not fighting for money. You're fighting to build your name, to build your record, and just to get noticed by a good manager or a bigger promotion or whatever it is that's gonna take you to the next step closer to your final goal of getting into the UFC or getting into whatever organization you want to get in. It's usually the UFC, right? Or Bellator now or ONE FC. But so like guys are like with like 2 professional fights, they're like, oh man, no, that's not enough pay, so I'm gonna turn it down. None of that's important. The only thing that's important when your first couple fights is the opponent. you got to take smart fights, right? And
Yeah.
then that's another thing too. You need the guidance, bro. Like in Hawaii, we have a lot of guys just coming out of the garage gyms and stuff like that. And I got nothing against garage gyms. Like I came from a garage gym, but it's like you also need guidance for someone there to tell you. Because us local boys, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, that guy 10-0 all finishes. This is my first fight. Yeah, I'm just gonna scrap anyway. It's all good. But you
Yeah.
got to remember, bro. Once you're a pro, this is gonna go on your record for the rest of your life. So you have to
Yeah.
take smart fights that are gonna build you to the next level the right way. So yeah, us as local boys, we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna fight whoever, but we need that guy that's gonna be like, hey, no, wait a minute, this is not a smart fight for you. We got to make sure that stylistically this is a good matchup and that it's fair on paper at least, so that both guys have an even chance. And I feel like that's something that I had with like Rylan and Charles,
Yeah.
So they you gotta have somebody smart telling you what's next, So you gotta have the big picture in mind. Forget about the pay, forget about the money. Be down to fight for nothing for your first few fights, because you might lose money. You got to pay your coaches and everything too.
That's true.
So yeah, but that's not what it's about, bro. And then later on, that's gonna pay off when you get into the UFC or you get into Bellator and all, or whatever your goal is, right? That's my 2
That's
cents.
pretty good.
My 2 cents, bro.
And you're right, Charles. I know personally, and I know how he kind of grooms his fighters. And Charles is very responsible with his matchmaking and how his fighters get to compete. So
yeah,
and the good thing about honestly glad you got to be in his camp.
And the good thing about Charles is like he's not afraid to tell you exactly what he thinks. You know what I mean?
100%.
You can count on him to be like, no, F that. What's wrong with you? We're not going to take that fight, or this is dumb. Why are you going to do that for? So he's 100%. There's no guessing how that man is feeling. He's going to tell you. Yeah. So that's a good thing. I like that about him. So yeah.
Well, that's good. You're under good leadership. Who do you acquire a manager?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, like you start getting noticed a little bit. Boom, you grab and then a manager wants to pick. Usually, the manager asks for you. They want to pick you up. Because I mean, yeah, like at the end of the day, the manager works for you, right? It's their job to find you fights, and it's a business agreement. But also, they want to represent good fighters too. They want to represent guys who are serious and know what they're doing, so that it's like a even trade. Because there's no such thing as something for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can't go hit up a manager and be like, "Oh yeah, hey, what's up? I'm 0-10 and I want to get a manager, so I'm gonna hire you." Like it's got to be a dual. It's got to be a dual agreement, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, for me, I think it was 2-0. I was 2-0 my first 2 fights, and then my manager started to inquire, and then of course too, it goes with the team too. Like Hawaii Elite had a manager, had Jason House that managed some of the more top guys
Russell
like Smoka and Don. Yeah, some of the top guys. So it's like, yeah, so this guy's going to be your manager because this is the guy who manages. He manages these guys in your team. That's how it works most of the time. That's why you got to get on a good team too.
Yeah, I felt like Hawaii Elite kind of went, okay, you're going to get sponsored by Defend Hawaii and get managed by Jason.
Yeah, bro, that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, Defend Hawaii takes care of a lot of the guys from Hawaii Elite, and then of course other guys too. You know this, but yeah. I mean, yeah. I was actually really stoked when Mike first talked to me. He's like, "Yeah, bro, let me know when you're." I was like, "Yeah." I was super stoked about that because, I mean, in Hawaii, Defend Hawaii is like a pretty well known brand. Everybody wears Defend Hawaii. I really like where the direction it's going to.
100%.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's great.
It kind of veered off the gang kind of thing and kind of did more culture stuff. And Chris is getting very into the Hawaii rich culture.
Yeah, it's doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot about the Hawaii culture, and I really like that. But don't get me wrong, bro. That freaking logo with the what kind of gun was it? The AK-47.
The AR. The
AR. Yeah. Bro, that logo is the sickest logo ever. I have that logo on my truck, and if it ever peels off, I'm gonna have to custom order one just like it.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like the the wild style one like that, but that logo with the AR is just classic, bro. My
Yep,
favorite.
definitely old school.
Yeah. It's the. I think I know guys with that logo tattooed on them. They're not even sponsored by Defend Hawaii.
Oh, I don't
We're
know
not
if I
gonna.
would
That's a
tattoo
whole nother
that.
thing. I'm just saying though, bro. That's how cool that logo is.
Yeah. So eventually you got to go to the bigger shows. How did you kind of take your step up to the ranks to finally get signed to the UFC?
Oh man, I got. I went 3-0. I think I lost my fourth or fifth fight. That guy was a hammer. That was a good one. Good. I mean, that was like, you get your setbacks and stuff, and then I had like a big break. It was the Contender Series. I think that's what kind of like got me noticed a little bit. But even just with me talking about it, I'm already taking too much credit, bro. Like a lot of times it's not what you know, it's like who you know. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's my manager, Jason. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten the UFC. I mean, maybe I would have eventually. I can't say that. You never know. But he's the guy who was like constantly pressing, working for me and dropping my name to Sean Shelby and all those guys. But anyway, he got me the opportunity to get into the Contender Series, but I lost that fight. So that's the fight where I had to shave my head and cut like
Okay.
yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about that. Okay, so you're cutting to 125, correct?
Yeah, I was at the time. Yeah.
Okay. How much weight did you shaving your head, how much did that help?
We're about to get into a whole story.
All right, I want to hear this story. I know some of it. Like Charles was messaging me, he's like, bruh, Martin is going all out, bruh. I've never seen anybody have this much heart for a weight cut. Like this was before, like
dude, I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but a lesser man would have died from this weight cut, or at least quit. Definitely would have quit.
So how did this play out?
So it was, I was in the gym, staying ready, and I'm lean, bro. I'm 100, like right now I'm 160 pounds, and I have a freaking 8-pack right now. Not to, I'm just saying it's a fact, but I'm lean. So when I took that fight, I didn't have as much muscle, but I was 156, and I was already in good shape. Like I was training every day, and like my whole thing for the last, for almost like the last 8 years has been like 10 training sessions a week, and very little have I missed that mark. Very little. So even when I'm not in camp, when I am in camp, it's more like around 12. Anyway, so yeah, bro, I got word of that fight about 2 weeks and 2 days away from the fight. They're like, okay, we need somebody. They want somebody in the Contender Series at 125. I was 156 pounds. And I had just got, and when I got word of the fight, it was the morning after I had just got done. My nephew was fighting that night. So my nephew Sean, I'm wearing his shirt, Shine Like Sean. So we had just came from Nico's in Kailua. I just pounded a bunch of food with him because he got done with his weigh-in. So we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go eat, replenish you. And he was eating pasta, and I ate a burger.
Nachos,
yeah. Anyway, I was 156 when I took the fight. About 2 weeks and 2 days before the fight. The fight's on a Tuesday, and I think I took the fight on like a Friday or something. And then yeah, bro. So I immediately I started cutting weight and not cutting weight, but dieting. People get those two things confused, huh?
Yeah.
But so I started dieting. I had so 156. The weight is 125. So my Hill level math will tell me that that's 31 pounds.
Around
right?
There.
Yeah. Yeah, 31 pounds, right? Okay, so anyway, so I started dieting down, and then they fly you up to Vegas to do they fly you up there about a week before the fight to do media and stuff. And then so I fly up there, and then I meet Kelsey Yeoman Lewis Smoker came up with me to fly up there because I needed to train still. So they bring someone up with you to train while you're up there. So I meet Kelsey Yeoman, and then she's helped a bunch of fighters with their weight cuts and stuff. But I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't have made the weight cut. That wouldn't have been possible without her. And she's actually helped me with a bunch of weight cuts after that. She's a genius. Anyway, so she starts. So I'm over there, bro, and like we go to the store because I need some food. food. And I think I remember getting like one boiled egg and like a few like slices of a cucumber, and I'm just gonna eat it plain. And then she's just like telling me like, you're not gonna be able to perform eating like that, and blah blah blah. So she just takes over. She makes an entire spreadsheet for me. This is how you're gonna diet, this and that, blah 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 blah.
And you're a
But
week out.
well, I think it might have been like more like a week and a half.
Okay.
But so she really helped me out get that weight down a lot. And she said, yeah, and the fight was in Vegas, and she lived in Vegas, so she helped me with when I got there too. But anyway, so I show up to Vegas. I did all my dieting, and it was miserable, bro. Like I'm doing like hit cardio sessions every day to keep burning calories. I'm drinking 2 to 3 gallons of water every day, and eating just horribly low calories, bro. Because I need to drop all this weight. And there's no way, like this whole time my mind never crossed my mind. I never told myself, no, I'm not gonna make it. It was like I'm gonna make this weight, or I'm gonna literally die trying to make this weight. Because this is my dream. You know what I mean? This is my shot. So I show up to Vegas, bro, and I think I was 140. I want to say 148. It could have been 146, but this was Saturday afternoon. So I dieted down from 56 to about 48 or 46. We'll call it 10 pounds. And that's pretty good, for about, 2.5 weeks of dieting. And then, but bro, I'm 146. The fight's at 125. I still got,
you're still scrawny too.
Pounds. Yeah. So yeah, bro. So Saturday afternoon, weigh-ins are Monday morning. So we got about a day and a half, day and 3/4. And I made it, bro. 126. But during that time, it was hell. Like the worst ever. Had Kelsey was taking me through the whole thing. It was like a weight cut I've never been through before. Like I've never been through anything like that, because we were like eating a little bit throughout the thing, drinking a little bit of water, just like replenish, and just down to a science, like exactly how my body was supposed to make it happen. She made it happen exactly like how it was supposed to. Had like Tony Diaz with me, like he's a fighter from Vegas, like talking to me every step of the way when I'm starting to get delirious and stuff.
So you went in and out the sauna and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, bro, I was living in the sauna. I was living in the sauna. I would take naps. We would get up at ungodly hours in the morning for me to go and cut weight. And then Kelsey was there, and her friend Sunny. And bro, we come down to the last leg. It's like early Monday morning. We got several pounds to go. We're just trying to get it off. Like I'm already like my voice, I can barely talk. My ears are like I can't hear good. And so at the very last leg, we go down there. We're gonna just check on the preliminary scale my weight. So we go down there. I think it was like 2 pounds off or something like that. And I had hair still, but bro, there was like maybe 45 minutes left to make weight. Otherwise, you're not gonna fight. So boom, we rush back. We're like, someone says, Tony, go grab some clippers, grab a buzzer, quick, bro. This guy. I find out later that this guy ran down to his car, went to a local barbershop, ran into the shop. I said, I'm borrowing this, and grabbed the buzzer and ran out, bro. He actually returned it. I don't know if those guys were his friends or what, but he just ran in, no explanation, grabbed it, said, I'll be back with it, came back. Meanwhile, Kelsey and her friend Sunny are shaving me, bro. They shave. You can't probably see it good, but I have the islands tattoo. Part of the big island is shaved off. And it's like, bruh, they're shaving my head. I'm in the hot tub, and I remember I started getting up between rounds, just staying moving, and Sunny is like holding me up. I start to like just like lose my sight. My sight's going, blacking out. I literally cannot stand up on my own anymore, bro.
This can't be healthy.
We're like, there's like 3, 4, 5 minutes left. We got to make it down before 10 o'clock, because there's a window. You have to make weight from 9 to 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
We make it there. I'm like 2 minutes late. They find me. I think it was like $500 or something. But I was 125 and a half, bro. 125 and a half, no hair. Only hair on my body was my little eyebrows. And I made it, bro. Yeah. They carried me down there. They said, you know what, we're not going to carry you onto the scale. But once I got to the room, you gotta walk yourself over there. Walk myself over there, drop my towel, butt naked. And bro, when you're in that state of mind, you don't even care, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't care who's around. everything just goes out the window. It's like I step on a scale. I remember that scale saying 125.5. And yeah, bro.
So
That's
what was
it.
the first thing you drank after you weighed?
There's like a super strict thing you gotta drink in the right order, in the right amount, and not too much too fast. Because if you drink too much too fast, you start to have problems. Like your body can't take it in fast, so you just sip real slow. And then now you can't do IVs anymore too. So,
yeah,
dude, we used to do IVs like when I was fighting in Hawaii and stuff. I'd get an IV after every weigh in, and it was the best, bro. You feel like Superman after your IV goes in.
We
Because it's
gave
like
Russell
that.
some. Russell's in my house
Yeah.
taking IVs before. He was giving it to
Yeah. One time my mom, she's a nurse, but she hadn't been a nurse in the hospital for a while. She was like a nurse going to people's homes. She did my IV one time. Bro, she missed my vein like 5 times. I almost passed out.
I'll do your next one, bro.
Yeah, bro. So no, you cannot even do IVs anymore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You cannot.
Yeah. IVs are banned now because they're trying to discourage big weight cuts like that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
For ONE FC, they do a hydration testing, right? And they kind of make the weight classes different.
Yeah, ONE FC, they make the weight class. Like for me, for example, like I said, I was walking around at 160. I could fight as low as like 155, or I'd probably diet to 145. But people don't realize, bro, like they're like, oh yeah, you fight your walk around weight, that's better. But bro, it takes a load of discipline to diet. Like for me to be able to diet and be 100% hydrated at 145, bro, that's a load of discipline. That's gonna take like to the T dieting to get from me to get down to 145 and still be able to be fully hydrated. So that's like, yeah, that's because I show up fight week now at 150. You know what I mean?
And if you're fighting 135?
Yeah, 135. I show up fight week now 150. That I got it down to a science now. 150. I'll do my water load. Day before weigh-ins, I'm about 145 for my water load, and then I go from 145 to 135. And then at the next day in the cage, my performance weight is 154. So I back up about 19 pounds. Yeah. I've actually come up to 157 one time.
Oh, wow. And you feel strong and
strong. Yeah.
Good to go.
Super good. Yeah. Good to go. Good. 100%. Yeah.
I guess it does come down to a science, right? Because I mean, when we were cutting weight back in the day, we'd stuff our cheeks with lihimui and sit in the sauna with a garbage bag and just spit until we were dehydrated.
I never heard the lihimui trick before.
Yeah, you just pack it with lihimui. You don't swallow it, but it creates a lot of saliva, and then you just spit in a cup. And I'm just thinking that's liquid leaving my body. And then we would cut a hole in a garbage bag and just put it over us.
Yeah.
We were like old school kind, like no science, bro science.
Yeah. No, bro. Like, but that's why I mentioned Kelsey, because like, I mean, I had a little bit of a science down, but she brought it to like a T, bro. And so now I use a lot of it still, like, bro, like just like there's a salt load, a sodium load, water load. It's just like everything is timed, and it all has to do with my body fat percentage, how much muscle mass I have at the time, and it's all like, yeah, it's super good to have the right people like that in your corner, bro.
Well, that's the correct way to do it, and you're not jeopardizing your health, because I know if your electrolytes, because I work in the lab, so I know what happens once your electrolytes go out of sync, and then your body shuts down. It's not balanced, and because there's low electrolytes, you can't get defibrillated. It's just shocking nothing, because the electrolytes can't take the charge.
Where you're bringing up some big words, but I think I know what to defibrillate.
the shock pad.
Yeah.
And they will clear. Yeah. You probably was very close to having that happen to you, my friend, on that weight cut.
Oh, bro, I believe so. And I fought 3 times at 125, but that one screwed up my body, bro. Because my first cut to 125, bro, I remember I dieted real good. I woke up on fight day. I woke up on weigh-in day. Only had to cut like 7 pounds. But then when I had to cut so much weight so fast, my body just said "F you," and then I blew up after I got bigger. And then when I chose to fight at 125 one more time, it was super hard. I was like, bro, I'm never doing this again. That was my last fight at 125, and then I went back up to 35 after that. Yeah, my
Yeah,
body wasn't happy with me.
I
Yeah.
remember seeing you at a weight cut at your guys' gym. I think it was
Yeah.
before a Destiny fight, and your hand was cramping. Like I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what's wrong with him?" Like he's like, "Oh, he just finished a weight cut." And then I remember you eating bananas or peanut butter or something. I forget what it was. And then
Yeah.
you got plumped back up again. But I was like, "Oh,
My fingers was just stuck in this position.
yeah,
I remember Joe Bird was there because he was fighting in the same, and he's my boy. He's like
yeah,
freaking teasing me. And not only my fingers, my toes, bro. I was all cramping up.
oh,
Yeah, your body's just depleted of so much of what it needs, bro. So I think like you need more potassium or something like that when you start to have cramps. So it's like, yeah, bro. I don't recommend it. I don't,
yeah."
kids go to school, become a doctor or a lawyer or something.
Yeah, and then after you do all that, you're gonna get punched in the face. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's not even the worst
Yeah.
part of it.
That's why I said, bro, you gotta love this stuff, bro.
Yeah,
You have to love it. You can't be like, there's a point in time where it's like, I mean, you might start off doing it for the Instagram followers or because your friends in school think it's cool or whatever. Bro, those guys get weeded out fast.
oh
So
yeah,
you do
100%.
this, there's like, you gotta love this with what you're
Yeah,
doing. You know what I mean? Because you're not gonna be making no money, not for a while. And then you can train your whole life and not get into the UFC. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's
100%.
just
Any
that's just
martial
the
art.
hard
Yeah,
truth of it. Yeah, that's just the hard truth. That's like, I mean, getting into the UFC, the UFC is like the NFL of MMA or the
correct.
NBA. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you could easily train your whole life and not get it. You got to do everything. You got to do the right. You got to make the right moves. But I'm not saying, if it is what you love to do, whoever's watching this, yeah, go do it. You know what I mean? But if it's not like
yeah,
what you absolutely love to do, go become a doctor.
yeah. And any martial art, it does take discipline, and that's
Yeah.
why this sport I am a fan of the sport, because it's a martial art. And like you said, it's like you could train your whole life and not get there. I remember training when I first started. The big saying was, one of you in this room right now is going to make it to your black belt. And I remember when I got my black belt, I was like, I was that one guy. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it showed dedication. And you're right, it's a lifestyle. It's not a hobby.
Yeah. And for me, like, yeah, I was that one guy in that room too, because I had that. They gave me that same talk,
Yeah.
different guy, but different place, but same talk. I think it's a pretty common talk.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think my talk was like, maybe none of you in this room will get your black belt, but there could be one, there might be two. But for me, in my mind, it was always like, there was never a question. For me, there was never a
Yeah.
question I was going to get my black belt. There was never a question I was going to be in the UFC. There was never a question about certain things, and these things have happened, and some things are yet to happen, but I know still will. And it's just like, that has to be part of it too. You have to have 100% faith in yourself. There can't be any doubt. Once you have some kind of doubt, it's like it just grows. Like, it grows in your mind, and it just screws you over, bro. Like, you're done.
Yeah.
Once you start letting doubt grow, you're like, you might as well call it quits now. You got to cut the doubt right at the beginning.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I definitely noticed that mentality from a lot of Charles's camp, his fighters. You guys surround yourselves with guys that will elevate each other, and right, it's cool to see. And knowing Charles' humble beginnings to where he is now, and to watch his team kind of take on that mindset is pretty cool. And right, you guys are all down for each other. Like, even when one guy fights, it's like, oh, the whole squad is out there with all their mana, just kind of
Yeah.
supporting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
But
cool to see.
like, I mean, everyone knows MMA is like it's a one person sport, right? You get in there, it's one guy fighting another guy. But bro, it takes a whole team of people to get you to that point.
Yeah.
Not even just your teammates, but like everybody else too. People that aren't even on the mat is on your team. Like I mentioned, like Kelsey, like bro, she helped me so much, but she's not even training with me. So it's just like,
Yeah.
it's a team effort for sure, bro.
That's cool. Well, you do
Yeah.
have a good squad. So right now, like, where are you in competition wise? Like, what is your status?
I'm a free agent, and
Okay.
trying to get something, bro. Like I've had a few fights fall through already, just because of like just different reasons, but mostly it's been because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because UFC was the first professional league to come back, and I was in the UFC then, and I was fighting actively, But I fought out my UFC contract, and obviously I didn't get re-signed. You know, you can't go on a losing streak with the UFC and expect to get re-signed. You got to win. You got to win your fights when you get in there. But anyway, now that I'm a free agent, I'm just looking for something, and I've had some stuff come up, and then an event will get canceled here, or it's mostly just events getting canceled, bro. Because guys, places are living like week to week. But things are getting a lot more stable, and I'm actually working on something coming up pretty soon. Hopefully, we'll get something in like March.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So yeah.
And your main goal is still to get back into the UFC and compete on that high platform?
I mean, I have a kid on the way now.
Oh shit! Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
yeah, no, good,
bro. That's super dope.
Yeah.
Did I know that? I'm trying to think if
I don't know. I posted on social media, so it's on my Instagram and stuff. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of love. Thanks,
that's
bro.
super awesome, bro. I mean, I can speak for that. That's a game changing. Do you know what you're having?
Yeah. But I'm not gonna tell you because I didn't tell anybody yet.
Okay. We'll wait.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys will find out soon. But it's 50% chance it's a boy, 50% chance it's a girl.
That sounds about right. That's that Collar math.
yeah. It's foolproof, bro. Definitely a human being.
Guaranteed gonna be a boy or a girl.
Yeah. So anyway, at this point in my career, it's not. I would love to get back into UFC, and it is a goal. But I'm not dead set on it as much as I was before. Now it's more of like, I need to fight. I want to get more fights until I can retire. And right now it's a point where I need to be able to get paid an amount of money that I want to get paid to get into a fight. So even if UFC does offer me a contract, I'd probably take it. But if there's another place offering me a contract for more money, then I'll go ahead and take that.
Well, at this point,
at this point, that's more about that than anything else. I think just my mindset has switched around a little bit just because the kid is on the way. And so I want to make sure I'm taking care. Yeah. And I'm also trying to set up myself. Well, not trying. I am setting up myself for after my fight career is done. You know, I've just like with coaching. I want to be able to coach mixed martial arts, and I want to make it after my career is done. And I will make it to a point where it's like, Hawaii guys aren't going to want to go to Vegas to do their camps or go to California to find better training. These guys are going to want to come to Hawaii, not just to vacation, but because we got the best camps in the world. That's what my vision is for Hawaii MMA going into the future. And I'm not ready to do that yet because I'm still focused on my fighting. But when I'm done fighting and I can create that platform for fighters that want to come up in Hawaii, that's what my plan is for after I'm done.
Well, so that's my thing. I definitely think that goal is attainable, and with your drive and determination, guarantee it'll happen. And one thing I admired a lot, and it's something that I used to do back in the day, was teach. And I got to teach at Haiti Elementary. They had a A+ program, and I got to teach the kids there. And I went to pick up my daughter from school one day, and I saw you in your dobak, your uniform.
Yeah.
Carrying kicking pads at Leisure Dawn, walking to one of the areas, and I'm watching you do this. And you don't see me. I'm in my truck, and I'm watching you, and I felt like, wow, he's doing the same thing I used to do. But I could see the passion, like, oh, yup, I'm gonna be teaching these kids something I love to do. And I honked, and I was like, oh, what's up? And you shocked it at me. But that always stuck in my head because it reminded me of me. And it was cool to see someone doing the same thing that I used to do, but knowing that you're teaching got me excited. So I knew how you fight. I knew your mentality, your heart, and the way you fought. I knew you'd be a good teacher. So knowing that you were teaching kids kind of stuck with me. I'm like, oh, Martin's going to be a good coach. He's going to be a good instructor. And that legacy will be a lot bigger than being a world champion in UFC. The legacy of you teaching is what's going to be stronger and bigger than anything. You could be world champion. That's cool. But your legacy is going to be the kids that come after you and what they're going to accomplish. Yeah. And you've been doing it already. I see your videos with the kids and kicking, and it's just, bro, it's very refreshing. It's very refreshing to see, dude.
Yeah. I've been teaching kids for a while. Like, I started in 2002 training, but then I started helping out in classes and stuff, like probably like about a year later. But I've been teaching for a while now, and now, bro, like I was in the mall, Windward Mall the other day, and this kid was like probably like maybe like 19 years old, and he was like maybe 18, 19. Looked like he was just out of high school. He's like, Mr. Day. I was like, hey, and like I had no idea who he was, bro, because he's looked totally different. He's like, hey, you used to teach me when I was like 8 years old, and this kid is like 10 years later. I was like, yeah, and he mentioned his name, and then it rang a bell, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah, bro. I think I remember you, but yeah, bro, I've had like the pleasure of teaching so many kids in the community coming up, and it's really
Yeah.
helped me. Teaching helps you become a better martial artist.
100%.
Yeah, it helped. It's and lately I've been coaching a lot too. Not just kids, but also like everyone from people that just want to learn how to learn how to strike a little bit, or people who are professional fighters, and it helps you break down your game a little bit more and have a
Yeah.
deeper insight about like tactics and just setups and everything, bro. Because you have to like look at it from a different perspective when you're coaching, and
Oh yeah.
you got to kind of like fill different shoes. It gives you a different angle to look at things. So I feel like that's actually helped me a lot in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah, Brian.
definitely, I would get way more nervous when my students would compete versus me competing. And I would always love to teach kids versus the adults, because kids will come at you with a childlike mentality where you ask them to try this. They're going to try 100 times, fall down, do whatever. Versus an adult, then give you 100 reasons why they no can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of times I like teaching kids better.
Yeah.
A lot of times, just for that exact reason, bro. They're like
Yeah.
so eager to learn. They're eager to learn, and they're just like they don't make excuses.
Yeah.
Like that they
Exactly.
might some kids might complain a little bit here and there or whine about something, or maybe say they can't do something. But then when you tell them that they can do something, and then you go one step further and show them that they can do it by making them able to do it, it like opens up their mind, and they realize like, hey, I can do these things. Things that I thought that I might not be able to do, I can actually do. So it gives them that empowerment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I like teaching kids. Yeah.
Plus you're living it, and you're not only teaching, but you're doing it by your example. So that's the best way to teach, by example. Like anybody could sit on a couch and tell people what to do, but to
Yeah.
show and compete, and that's cool to see.
Yeah. You know what it is, bro? Like this is like one of the things I live by when it comes to teaching. People, they don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care. You ever heard that before?
Oh no, that's a good one.
Yeah, they don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care. You could be the
I like
you could be
that.
the best fighter in the world. You could know exactly what you're talking about. But if you don't genuinely care about this person, you're not going to be effective. You're not going to be an effective coach. You're not going to be an effective leader because you don't care about them. You
Yeah.
gotta care. You gotta have that passion towards this person. You gotta genuinely want them to improve, or want them to reach their goals. That's the main thing. And then so leading by example, like you mentioned, that's showing that you care. Like leading by, I forget who said it, but there's only one way to lead, and that's just by example. No, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you say. If you're doing the opposite, that no one's gonna follow you. You gotta be walking the talk.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, aside from your martial arts and coaching and teaching, like, what do you like to do, like, when you're on your free time? Like, obviously you have a family, you're gonna have a kid, so your free time is gonna be very minimal. Watch, you're not even gonna sleep now. But
That's what they say, bro.
yeah,
But you know what, bro? I'm gonna tell you one thing right now, and Russell will agree with me. There's nothing worse. There's not nothing worse, but there's no sleep worse than the sleep you get before a weight, but while you're in a fight week with your weight cut.
that's true.
I don't care
You're
what
right.
anyone says. At least with
Well,
your
especially what
baby,
you went through.
yeah, bro, with your baby, you can. I mean, I don't have a kid yet, so I don't know, but Russell has told me this too. And this is how I imagine it happening. With your baby, you can get up, stop them from crying, and go back to sleep maybe. And maybe you
Yeah.
can get 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. But you go back to sleep maybe. Bro, when you're in fight week, you might not go back to sleep. You're like tossing and turning, you're hungry, you're like you're probably not gonna be able to
Depleted.
sleep good at all. You're depleted.
Yeah.
So
Worried about
I don't
somebody
see.
punching you in the face at the end of the
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
Oh yeah, not to the nerves if you have that
Yeah.
issue. I don't really care. You know what I mean? I don't see how it's going to be much worse than that. I get to get up and take care of my baby. Then I get to try to go back to sleep after.
That's a good way to
on a
look
full
at
stomach. Yeah. Now it would suck if I have the baby and I have a fight.
Yeah. That's when your wife gotta take care.
Yeah. I forgot what you said right before that, bro. But
so what do you do for your free time? Like, what do you do for fun?
Yeah. Shoot, bro. Whenever I get free time, I mean, of course, besides like spending time with my wife and my family, I like to spend time with my family. But as for myself, I try to surf at whatever free time I can, bro. Like you know, if I get free time during a good swell or something and conditions are good, I'm out there. So
nice.
In the summer, you can usually catch me down at Queens, Waikiki with the time. Me and my family cruise down Baby Mocks a lot. Depends on the swell, but yeah, when you got that direct north swell coming in, bro, Baby Mocks catches perfect. And
it was clean this past week, huh?
Oh, so clean, bro.
Yeah, I drove past a couple times because I grew up bodyboarding Makapu. That was my spot. So I always look when I pick up my daughter from Hawaii Kai, and it's like, whoa, that's kind of clean.
Yeah, no, it was all clean. You know, when you get those, you know, surfers, the east side people know when you get the north swells coming around and the Kona winds, you get offshores and you get the north wrap.
Yeah,
bruh, nothing like
perfect.
It, bruh.
Yeah, it's hard. Nothing. Very few times in between, but when it happens, it's pretty cool.
Just this last Wednesday, bro. I was down at Baby Box, and it was one of those rare days.
Yeah.
And for me, over there is like for me, Queens is my favorite wave. That's gonna be my favorite wave. It's perfect wave. But then when I go out to Baby Mox, it's not the best wave in the world. Even on the best day, it's not the best wave. It's fun. It's a really fun wave, but it's like, bro, I'm out there. Like I grew up out there. Everyone, you know, you go out there, everyone, you know, everybody in the water. It's like a different feel, you know. You feel like you're right at home. So that's
your side of the island.
Yeah. We don't get a lot of good waves on the east side, so when it happens, it's like it's the bomb, bro. When that happens, super good.
Different salinity levels too that can change the environment. Also makes you feel better.
Yeah, bro. Like I was reading this thing. It's like negatively charged ions.
Yeah,
and it happens when there's a lot of water evaporation in the air, and it makes you feel good. That's why you always feel good when you come out of the water. What is that big place with the waterfalls all around? Niagara Falls.
It
has the highest rate of girls saying yes when getting proposed to. Because they feel good, bro. Because they got all the negatively charged ions coming in there.
Or they scared to say no, they can get tossed over.
It's one or the other. I've never been over there, but it looks cool, bro.
Me neither. Yeah. Well, we've been going for over an hour, bro. I could talk to you about all this stuff for a while. We could have BBJ ask you the question of the week.
Let's go, bro.
Question of the week. Before the question of the week, I had a question.
Yeah.
Who are your top 3 favorite local fighters?
Oh my God, bro! You're gonna make me pick 3, only 3.
Okay, you better pick good because you're gonna have to spar the ones you never pick.
It's gonna be tough to pick just 4, bro. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say Russell Doan. He's one of my favorites. Max, these two guys, Max Holloway and Russell Doan, have been helping me since the beginning of my career. My third favorite local fighter is local kid, amateur kickboxer. A lot of people don't know who he is, but he's Sean Day, freaking hammer. And and my fourth one, I don't know. Probably gonna have to say BJ Penn, just because BJ he was one of the first guys to kind of put Hawaii on the map. But I'm gonna add in Brandon Wolf too, bro, because Brandon Wolf's a Kailua boy. Yeah. Brandon Wolf's a Kailua boy, and a lot of the guys who made it bigger from the west side. But me and Brandon are both from Kailua, and we're the only two. I think, to my knowledge, we're the only 2 East Side guys that made it into the UFC. So I'm gonna throw Brandon's name in there too.
Team MMA, was it MADD?
MMAD, yeah. Mixed Martial Arts Development, OG team, bro. Yeah. I used to go over there when I was like in high school or right out of high school and get beat up by all those guys.
Colin used to train with those guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What was his last name? Manzanes, yeah, I remember
his
him.
dad used to coach me too. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Louis. Yeah.
oh, yeah. I remember him.
His
Big
dad
boy.
was one of my coach. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, bro. I remember him. I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah. He's a stevedore. Doing
Oh,
good.
okay, okay. A lot of those guys
Yeah.
are stevedores. I know Brandon's a stevedore. Yeah, a lot of those guys are stevedores.
It's a good job to trade off from MMA, man.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. Good benefits too, but yeah, I guess so because I know besides those two guys that you just mentioned, I know other guys who used to be fighters, or yeah, the other guys used to be fighters who are stevedores now too. I can think of like a couple more just off the top of my head. But yeah, bro, those guys are some of my favorite guys. I'm probably missing all kind of people, but yeah.
Great answers. They're gonna take Joe Bird.
Oh, Joe Bird.
Oh man, Joe Bird is a.
You never give him
he's a close sixth.
He said that you were his favorite. He said that his favorite fighter was you.
Did you guys have, you starting some shit? Huh?
Yeah, we had Joe.
Oh, okay. Joe's my favorite, bro. Nah, Joe's a good, bro. He's gonna be one of the next guys that you see coming into a big show, bro. He's got a lot of. I almost said talent, but I don't like the word talent because it's skill. Like that kid, he's got a lot of skill, bro. He's scary, bro. And heart.
Yeah, he got some heart, bro. Yeah.
I've only been dropped a handful of times in my adult life, bro. My liver is permanently on the opposite side of my body because of Joe Bird.
Yeah, he's a hammer.
Hammer, bro. You got to watch out when you're sparring him. He'll make you pay fast.
Same thing, bro. Humble and personable and just a cool person. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta. I
still gotta bring my skateboard. He's supposed to hook up my skateboard.
People don't know, bro. People don't know. Joe is not only one really good fighter. He's real one of the best skateboarders from the east side. Yeah, he's fearless, bro. Jumping off the wall, like, bro. I could go on about him, bro. Skateboarding is crazy, bro. Yeah.
Okay, so good answers. So having said that, what is the best moment you've had in your fighting career?
I would have to say the best moment of my fighting career was when I got signed to the UFC. It was actually on Halloween, and on Halloween in 2018. And I remember I was kind of expected. My manager was kind of dropping like not hints, but he was saying we're right there. You know what I mean? So I couldn't sleep that night, bro. You know when you're a kid and Christmas is the next day, Christmas Eve, bro, you can't sleep because you're so excited. It was like for real kind of like draft day, like the NFL draft day, bro.
That's super cool.
Bro, I remember just not being able to sleep that night. And yeah, bro, that morning I was actually at Elite at the gym when I got the call. And bro, probably one of the happier moments of my life. And
nice.
I think I put that as one of the best time in my fight career, just because there was so much work that was put into that moment, and so much that's the moment that every fighter who hasn't been signed to the UFC is wanting. Just that one phone call that says, you know what I mean, where you're signed. So I'm gonna have to go with that one to answer that question.
That's fucking awesome. That's a dream from when you were 13. You know what I mean? Like that's a cool moment. That must have been awesome.
Yeah, bro. Like I always dreamed about just like walking through that tunnel and just be able to walk out there and do that. So for that call to materialize, that was awesome, bro.
Good for you, bro. Yeah. That's super cool. Hope you get another moment like that again.
Yeah. It'll happen.
Yeah, but I promise you, once your baby's born, that's gonna trump anything ever, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's what they say. You know, like people don't know. I've actually been a dad for a while. I got a son. His name's Joe Bird. That's
what I heard, bro. But he from what he said on our show, he has a lot of love, respect, and admiration for you. And honestly, he's probably one of your biggest fans, dude. He's very personable, and he's very giving with his, I guess, his props, because he showed a lot of love for you, and he mentioned you a lot during the show. Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I actually I watch now that you mention it, I did watch your when you had Joe Bird on the show. I did watch it, and yeah, Joe's he's the man, bro. Super giving. He'll give you the shirt off his back, and he's such a multi-talented individual. Like he can
Yeah, he
fix
had
your
like 7
car. He can,
jobs.
bro, he's like one
Give
of
you a
those guys who's good.
massage.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
give you a massage, change your alternator, and hold mitts for you all at the same time.
Yeah.
But
While skating.
while skating, yeah. Yeah. So people are always asking him for favors and stuff, but he does it, bro. He's just a good guy, bro. He's just willing to give. So yeah.
Shout out to Joe Bird. Hope to see him fighting in the octagon one of these years, man.
Yeah. Shout out to my son, Joe Bird.
Right on. Anything else you want to shout out now that we have you on?
Yeah, I mean, not really, bro. I mean, we didn't really talk about this too much, bro, but like I just want to like say one more thing real quick. There's a lot of kids that are growing up in Hawaii that don't have a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? You might not think you have as much opportunities and whatnot, but just like when I grew up, I didn't even live in a house until I was 10 years old. I was living in a tent for my whole life. No electricity, no running water, no AC, like none of that stuff. So you're gonna be able to, if you want something bad enough, you're gonna be able to make it happen. It's just a matter of wanting it bad enough. You know what I mean? Because like people tell me like oh yeah, I have this going on or this excuse. Really, there's only one. You cannot have excuses and results. You can only have one of those things.
Yep.
So just like, you know what I mean? Choose the latter. You know, choose the results, and that's just gonna be from you wanting it bad enough.
That's true.
So
and
yeah, bro.
Like
a lot of us local boys in Hawaii, a lot of kids they don't have a lot. So it's okay. You know what I mean? Even better when you make it for you to make it on almost nothing. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you said, like your son will reap the benefit, or your son or daughter will reap the benefits of your sacrifice and everything you did throughout your life to get to where.
Not to mention, bro, it makes you a stronger person. Like right now, right now, if my electricity goes off, it'll be like growing up. It'll be like, oh yeah, this is like my electricity goes off. We have a blackout. My wife's like, oh man, shoot the light. I'm like, yeah, this is actually pretty cool.
Like the candles, they're good.
I was camping with some of my brothers and sisters, and we were all living in tents with them. There's 9 of us. We was all living in tents.
9 of you guys.
Yeah, bro. We could have a whole nother show to talk about this. There's 9 of us. We were all homeschooled. My mom homeschooled every single one of us, all 9. My mom got cancer, so she sent me to Kalaheo and my 2 younger siblings to school. I was the first out of my SIP family to go to a school and get a degree from an actual school. The rest of them were all homeschooled, and my mom. So we were camping, and my sister's like, this is cool. This is just like when we were kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah, bro. We were all homeschooled. It was crazy. It was like, we definitely didn't grow up like a regular. My childhood was different than most people's.
Difference creates warriors. You know what I mean? Like, I was just telling my friends that the reason why I have friends with all my friends is because none of us are normal. I think that's why. I know your sister too, Monica. I know Monica.
Yeah, she's the one I was talking about. Oh, I was camping with her last weekend. Yeah, she's like, nice. This is just like growing up. Yeah. The Hana Bay,
Yeah. Oh, that's super
bro.
Cool. Oh, right on. And you're right about excuses. I've always learned it. An excuse is a reason for failure. So why are you gonna make them if you're not failing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what, bro? Your excuses could be 100% legitimate. An excuse doesn't always mean something that you're making up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you're gonna. If you're still making an excuse, you know what I mean? It's still an excuse. You're still excusing yourself for it. Like, just forget about that. You know what I mean? Just pick as excuses as results, bro. You cannot have both. That's it.
Yeah. And nobody wants to hear them. Nobody wants to hear your excuse.
No matter how legit your excuse is, bro, your excuse can be 100% legit, and it doesn't freaking matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the results, bro. Yeah.
All right. Well, we can find you on Instagram. What is it? 34 Spartan?
34 Spartan, bro. That's my Instagram, and I have a Twitter out there somewhere too. I just don't know what it is.
I assume the 34 is for Kailua.
Kailua, bro. I'd roll up my sleeve and show you the Mokes tattoo right there, but I got a long sleeve, so it's not gonna happen.
Nice. Also, I noticed the shirt that you're wearing, so shout out to your nephew, right? Correct.
Shout out to my nephew, bro. Sean Day passed away from testicular cancer in October. So yeah, shout out to him.
Yep, I heard a lot of good things about him, and I'm sure he left a great legacy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Off the subject, because of his example, I got checked yesterday to make sure I was good.
Good. That's good, bro. And everybody should do that. You know, learn from it. You know, go get checked. Where the worst that can happen is, I mean, you know, yeah, just go get checked. You know, you never know what can happen. The kid was only 22 years old. He made a hell of an impact for being around for only 22 years. But yeah, go get yourself checked. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna lie. As a humorous side, I was not too happy with another dude.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah.
And then it got me to think, like, out of all the professions you could have done as a doctor, why would you choose the handling these every day? That's just me. What?
Yeah, bro. It's
the unique, and it's something that early detection is gonna be a lifesaver. You know what I mean? Like, and I did, one of the reasons why was his example, and so I wanted to share that with you, and I did 100% go yesterday. Yep.
Yeah, that's good, bro. Yeah, everyone, go get checked. You know, and on a side note, Sean Day was freaking rushing way overhead sandies into dry sand on a single fin, hard longboard, 9-0, no leash, with stage 4 cancer. So stop making excuses.
There you go. Nice. All right. That's a good way to end the show, man. I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I've been a fan. I think after talking to you, I'm a bigger fan, and I'm sure a lot of people will be also. And I'm kind of stoked to see where your career is going to take you, but I'm more stoked to see the future on how you build your school or your training camp or whatever you got going on after you stop fighting. That's going to be your legacy, and that's going to be exciting to see. And congrats on going to be a new parent, bro. That's going to be awesome.
Right on, Thad. Thank you, bro. Thank you guys for having me on. Nice talking to you guys.
Yep. All right. And you can find Boyband John on Instagram, BBJ8, the letter O8. Go check him out on Instagram. We're atbpod.com. Find us on Instagram, Above the Bridge Podcast. All these episodes are on YouTube. The video will be on Olelo, Above the Bridge Pod. And on Instagram, Thaddy Daddy Hot. All right. Well, thanks again, brother. And I hope to hear from you soon. And shakas for the cameras. All right.
Right on, Thad. Right on, guys. Thank you guys, bro.